Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I'm going to continue with your chapter number 9, that is puppeting on the strings. This is a chapter that we have studied about the procedure programming, or this is a chapter of the module that is the procedure programming. In the last class we have discussed about the chapter number 9, that is the basics of the chapter number 9. What is a string? How do we declare a string? How do we use a string? What is the relationship between the pointer and the string, and the four types of standard library string functions. What are the four types? One is strlen, one is strcpy, one is strcat, one is strcmp. Now today I am going to start with your next topic, that is a two-dimensional array of characters. So in the last class we have discussed about the one dimension. Now in the today's class we will discuss about the two-dimensional array of characters. But before this, let's take a quick review what we have covered in the last class. In the last class we have started with, I have started with the concept of the string. So any set of characters is known as the strings. The mandatory condition is that these group of characters are terminated by the null characters. So whenever we say the character arrays, that are known as the strings. So many languages use the or internally treat the string as a character array, but somehow conceal this fact from the programmer. Character array or strings are used by the programming languages to manipulate the text. What are the types of text? Such as the words and the sentences. This is a one-dimensional array of characters that is terminated by the null character. So this is the condition, it is terminated by the null character, right? Then for example, char name, this is the array that is equals to the HAESLER. This is the string, and that will be terminated by the last character, that is a null character. Each character in the array occupies 1 byte of the memory, and the last character is always null. That is, the last character is always null, and each character occupies 1 byte of the memory, or 1 byte of the memory. What character is it? It looks like the two character, but it is actually one character. One slash is used and the 0 is used, that is known as the null characters. Whereas ASCII value of 0 is 48. This is the example that we have discussed. The terminated null is important because it is the only way that works on with the string can know where the string ends. So this is the way that reflects from where or where the string ends. That is the what is the last point of the string. That is the where the string terminates. This is the example of this one. This terminate with the null characters. These are the various addresses that is used, that is 6551819202122232425. That is, it will be incremented by 111 characters. That is the 1819202122232425. Then the next line, it is also discussed, that is how it will be declared, that is a char name array equals to Hassler. In this declaration, this is not mandatory or not necessary. See, insert the null character automatically. Then more about the strings, that is the getting more knowledge about the strings. That is a program to demonstrate printing of a string. This is the example how the string will be printed. First of all, main function, then char name equals to Klinsmann, then I equals to 0, while I is less than equals to 7. That is, check the condition and it will execute from 0 to the 7. So there are 7 characters or 8 characters that will be printed. This is the example. Now this is the next program, this is the next part, that is how it will be printed. This is also the output. This program does not rely on the length of the string to print the out its content, and hence it is definitely more general than the earlier one. This is the example that we have discussed. This is the example for the pointer that we have discussed. This says the PTR is incremented to point to the next character in the string. This is derived from two facts. What are the two facts? That is, first fact is array elements are stored in contiguous memory location, and on incrementing a pointer it points to the immediately next location of its types. This process is known or carried out till PTR does not point to the last character in the string, that is the null character. In fact, The array elements can be accessed exactly in the same way as the element of an integer array. Therefore, all the following notation refers to the same element. So this is the same as the when we use the pointers, that is either use name I, name plus I plus name, or I name. These all are the same concept that is using. Even though there are so many ways to refer to the element of character array, rarely is any of them used. This is because printf function has got a sweet and the simplest way of doing it. This is the example that will be terminated by the null character. The %s used in printf is the format specification for printing out a string. This is the example. This is the example that how it will be printed. We can also use the %s whenever we have to print the string. So %s is used to print the string, that is done by the %s. This is the declaration that set aside 25 bytes under the array, that is name. While entering the string using scanf, we must be cautious about two things. What are the two things? The length of the string should not exceed the dimension of the character array. That is, the length that is given for the string should not exceed the dimension of the character array. Next point says scanf is not capable of receiving multi-word string. That is, we cannot write the words with the gap. For that purpose, we have another function, that is a gets. So whenever we have a multi-word string, then we have to use the gets and the puts. Get is used like a scanf, and the puts is used as a printf. Then we have discussed about the pointers and the strings. That is how pointer and the strings are used together. That is how we can use the pointers in the string. That is how we can declare the pointer variable of the string. This is, suppose we have to we wish to store the hello. We may either store it in a string, or we may ask the C compiler to store at the some location in the memory and assigns the address of the string in a char pointer. That is shown in this part. This is the string array that is equals to the hello, and then char pointer p, that is the pointer p. The p is the pointer variable that is of character type, and then that is equals to the hello. This is the subtle difference in the usage of these form. We cannot assign a string to the another. That is, we cannot assign the string to the another, whereas we can assign a char pointer to the another char pointer. That is, we can assign a char pointer with the another char pointer. That is shown with the following program. This is the example that we have discussed. Also, once a string has been defined, it cannot be initialized to another set of characters. Unlike strings, such as operation is perfectly valid with char pointers. Next are the standard library strings function. That is, what are the standard library string function that is available? That is a standard library function that is available or that is common to everyone, that are known as the standard library string function. With every C compiler, a large set of useful string handling library functions are provided. Figure 9.6 lists the most commonly functions along with their purpose. There are generally large number of string functions, but we generally use only 4 standard library functions. These are the various functions that is used. One is strlen, that is used to find the length of a string. Then strlwr, that is convert a string to the lowercase, then convert a string to the uppercase. Then strcat, that is appending or adding the values or appends one string to the or at the end of the another string, that is the strcat. Then strncat, that appends n characters of the string at the end of the another. This appends one string. This appends a number of characters. That means in strcat we append only one string, and in strncat we append the n number of characters, means a limited number of characters that we specify. Then strcpy, ncpy, cmp, ncmp, Then CMPY, that compares the two strings without taking care of the case, that is the uppercase and the lowercase. Then strdup, that is duplicates a string. Then strchr, that finds the first occurrence of a given character in a string. Then strset, strnset, then at last reverse a string, that is done by the str reverse. Out of these, the four functions are generally used, that is strlen, strcpy, strcat and strcmp. So four functions are used. One is strlen, that counts the number of characters that is present in a string. So this function is used to count the number of characters. We have studied about the example. First of all, the array will be declared and two variables are declared. What are the two arrays, or what are the two variables? That is len1 and the len2. Then len1 equals to strlen array, len2 equals to strlen Humpty Dumpty. So there are two len variable that is used. One is used for storing the length of the array, one is used for storing the length of the Humpty Dumpty, and that output will be stored in the len1 and the len2. Then printf, string equals to %s, length equals to %d, array length. The output will be this one. In the first call to the function strlen, we are passing the base address of the string, and the function in turn returns the length of the string. So this is an example that we have discussed about the strlen, how length will be calculated. It simply returns the number of characters in the numeric format. Then next one is your strcpy, that copies the content of one string into the another string, that is the strcpy. The base address of the source and the target string should be supplied to the function. That is, we have to copy the string, and remember, target string is always means in which we have to put the output, that is always available at the left of the function, at the left of the argument. And in the right side there is a source, that is from where it will be starting. Then there is a source and the string that will be printed, and here is the output. This is the output, that is the source string and the target string. On supplying the base addresses, strcpy goes on copying the characters in source string into the target string till it does not encounter the end of the source string. This is the example. Then next function that we have studied about the strcat function, that is used to concatenate the source string at the end of the largest string, that is used for the concatenation. Then we have discussed about the strcat function that concatenates the source string to at the end of the target string. For example, Bombay and then Nagpur on concatenation would result in the string Bombay Nagpur, that is combined with each other. Here is an example of strcat that is at work. This is an example that shows how concatenate will work. That is, we are using the concatenate, that is the strcat function. There is a target and there is a source. In source we have to put the fork. For example, this is the fork, that is the source, and the hello, that is the target. So the output is hello folks, that is the target string. Then at the fourth function, a third function, first of all we have discussed about the strlen, then strcpy, then strcat. So for concatenation. Now last function is strcmp, that is a function which compares two strings to find out whether they are same or not. That is, we have to find the comparison. If the strings are same, then the output is 0, otherwise it gives the ASCII value between the characters which are not rectified or which are not recognized with each other, that is, which are not identical with each other. So this says the two strings are compared character by character until there is a mismatch or end of the strings is reached, whichever occurs first. If the two strings are identical, that is, if the two strings are same, then that gives a value 0. If they are not, it returns the numeric difference between the ASCII value of the first non-matching pair of characters. That is, it gives the difference between the ASCII value of the non-matching pair of characters, that is, which are not identical with each other. Here is a program which puts strcmp in action. This is the example how it will put the output, or how it will be used for the strcmp function. The exact value of mismatch will rarely concern us. All we usually want to know it is whether or not the first string is alphabetically before the second string. So that's all for the yesterday session. Now I'm going to start with the new session, that is a today's session, that is a two-dimensional array of characters. So two-dimensional array of characters means how we are dependent, or how we are using the integer array with the two dimension, that is more than one line of characters or more than one line of strings are used. So in the last chapter we saw several examples of two-dimensional integer array. Now let us look at the similar entity, but we're dealing with the characters, that is a two-dimensional array, but now it is a case of the characters. Our example program asks you to type your name, that is for example, I'm saying you to type your name. When you do this, or when you do so, it check your name against a master list to see if you are worthy of entry to the palace or place. That is, when you do the formatting, or when you do so, it checks your name against a master list, that if you are worthy of entry to the place or not. That is a two-dimensional array. This is the example, that is, first of all, hash define, that is defining the found as a value 1. That is, whenever the word found is used in the program, that is identified by the value 1, and whenever there is a word that is not found, that is a value 0. Then main function will be starting. In the main function we have defined, or we are going to, or we have defined, or we will in this program there is a defined, that is a array, that is a master list that contains two subscript or two square brackets that include 6 and the 10. That means here there are 6 rows and the 10 columns. So there are 6 rows, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and there are 10 columns, including the characters, including the symbols, including the commas, everything that contains 10 columns. Then 3 variables are used. One is I, one is flag, one is a. Then uses the char your name, that is, it is a array name that is used, that is your name. Then there are 10 characters in each, that is, it starts from 0 and ends with the 9, that is from 0 to 9. Then it uses the printf statement, that is enter your name. Then it uses the scanf statement, that is used for getting the name by using the %s, and where it will be stored, or where it stored the data in the name, it will store the data in the array, that is your name. That is the array that is used, that is a your name. Now flag variable will be used. This is the flag variable. Then it is used to store the not found value, that is, it is used to store the 0 that is not found is 0. That means get the name, it will be defined that flag is equal to 0. Now check the condition. The I is also used. We have declared the I already, that is I. So it starts with the 0 and then go on to the 5. That is, it is continuing for 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So 5 it will execute for the 6th time, and there is a I++. Now compares the function, that is, it is used for the comparison. First of all, there is a master list. At 0 location it will be stored at the 0 0, then 1 0, then 2 0, then 3 0, 4 0, 5 0. So it will be stored at the 6th location, and then it will be compared with the next variable in the memory. That is, what is the variable, what is the array name, that is a your name. Now this the output of comparison, it gives the 0 or it gives the 1. If they are equal, then it gives the 0. If they are not equal, it will give the ASCII value of the non-identical characters. Then if a equals to 0, that is double equals to 0, then printf welcome you can enter the palace. That is, print the statement if they are 0. Welcome you can enter the palace. Then flag equals to found. that is the flag variable is used, that is equals to the found, that is flag equals to 1. Then there is a break statement. Then this if will be closed and this 4 will be closed. So this will be closed, that is the if, then this 4 will be closed. Now check the condition, that if the flag is equals to not found, that is the flag is equals to 0, then printf, sorry, you are a trespasser, that is you cannot enter the palace, you are a trespasser. So first of all, for loop will be used, that is used to compare the result and then check the condition by using the if, that is if it is equals to 0, then printf, welcome, you can enter the palace. Otherwise check the condition, that if the flag is equals to 0, then printf, sorry, you are a trespasser or you are a trespasser. Then curly braces will be closed. Here is the output for 2 sample runs of this program. That is, this is the output for the 2 sample run. That is, first of all, enter your name. The name will be entered, that is a Dinesh. Then sorry, you are a trespasser, enter your name. Again Raman, welcome, you can enter the palace. Why in Dinesh there is a sorry, you are a trespasser? Because it is found comparing the words, if they are not equal, that is if the flag is equals to 0, that is the flag value is 0 or 1, then printf, sorry, you are a trespasser. So this is the example that shows how we can use the 2-dimensional character array. Notice how the 2-dimensional character array has been initialized. The order of the subscripts in the array declaration is important. The first subscript gives the number of names in the array, while the second subscript gives the length of each item in the array. Instead of initializing the names, had these names were being supplied from the keyboard? So this is a question. We can define, or we have defined the array with the use of the subscript. So it is also possible, instead of initializing the names, this name must be supplied from the keyboard. Yeah, it is also possible. Simply use the %s, that is used for string, that is it starts from 0, end with 5, and then I++, then there is a %s, then there is scanf, then use the %, that is a master list. It will be storing the data for 6 times, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is at the first place 0, 0, then 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0. This says while comparing the strings through strcmp, note that the addresses of the strings are being passed to the strcmp. As seen in the last section, if the 2 strings match, strcmp would return a 0, otherwise it would return a non-zero value. The variable flag is used to keep a record of whether the control did reach inside the if or the not. That is, if function is used, or the if variable or the if statement is used to find out whether the control reaches the inside or not. To begin with, we set the flag, means this is explanation of the program that we have discussed. The name will be stored in the memory as shown in 9.3. This is the best way. First of all, what is the name? There is Akshay, that will be terminated by the null character. Then Parag, that will be terminated by the null character. Then Raman, that will also terminated by the next character. Then Srinivas, then Gopal, then Rajesh, that will be terminated by the null characters. The arrangement, as you can appreciate, is similar to that of the 2-dimensional numeric array, that is at the last location. Here 65454, 65464 etc. are the base addresses of the successive name. These are the base address, base address, base address, base address. As seen from the above pattern, some of the name do not occupy all the bytes that is reserved from them. That is, some of the name does not occupy the result. For example, even though 10 bytes are reserved for storing the name Akshay, it occupies only 7 bytes. Therefore, 3 bytes go waste, because we have declared the Akshay as a 10 variable. right? This is just using the 10 variable, but there is no space. Means only 7 characters are used in the Akshay, so 3 characters are, or 3 bytes are waste. Why? Each character uses only 1 byte. Similarly, for other name there is some amount of wastage. In fact, the number of more the number of names, the more will be the wastage. Can this not be the approved? That is, we can improve this wastage, or we can limit, or we can take over this limitation, that is the wastage limitation. Yes, it can be by using what is known as the array of pointers. That is, we can use the array of pointers, which is the next topic of the discussion. That is how to use the array of pointer to the string. As we know, a pointer variable always contains an address. That is, as we know, a pointer is a variable. A pointer is a variable that contains an address. That is, we can store the addresses in the pointer variable. Therefore, if we construct an array of pointers, it would contain a number of addresses. That is, if we construct a number of pointer, that is, it contains multiple addresses, because one address or one pointer contains or stores the address of another one. In the same way, another pointer is also using for constructing the address. Let us see how the names in the earlier example can be stored with the use of array of pointer. That is, in the earlier we have stored the name, that is Akshay, Parag. So let's see how these names will be stored by using the pointer to the string. Now let us see. In the declaration, there is a pointer name. That is a pointer, or the name is the array or the array pointer that stores some character array. It contains base addresses of the respective names. Why it contains the base addresses? Because it is of pointer and it is of char type. That is, the base address of Akshay is stored in the names 0. The address is stored in the name 0. Then address of Parag is stored in the names 1, and so on. That is the names 1 and so on. That is the name 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is depicted in the figure 19.4. Now this is the Akshay. That is the Akshay, and there is a base address, that is a 182. This base address will be stored over here, because now the name is a pointer variable that stores the address. So Akshay address, that is 182, will be stored as a value, and this value is also a unique address separately, that is a 65514. In the same way, Raman 195 stored 65518. In the same way, Parag 198, that is in sequence. First of all Akshay, then Parag, then Raman, then Srinivas, then Gopal, then Rajesh. Means the addresses of different names will be stored over here only, and these addresses have a separate addresses, because these addresses now becomes values. This says, in a two-dimensional array, the string occupied 60 bytes. As against this, in array of pointer, the string occupied only 41 bytes, a saving of the 19 bytes. So if I are using this one, or as an example, it occupies, or this string occupies, when we are using simple string, that occupies 60 bytes. As against this, when we are using the array of pointers, the string occupy only 41 bytes, a net saving of the 19 bytes. That is, we can save the memory of up to the 19 bytes. A substantial saving, you would agree, but realize that actually 19 bytes are not saved, since 12 bytes are sacrificed for storing the addresses in the name. That is the pointer is also using, so that 12 bytes are also sacrificed for storing the addresses in the array, that is a name array. Therefore, thus one reason to store strings in an array of pointer is to make a more efficient use of available memory. That is, to save the or safeguard the memory, we have to save the bytes. That can be done by using the array of pointer that makes the efficient use of available memory. Next reason, another reason to use an array of pointer to store the string is to obtain greater ease in manipulation of the string, that is shown by the following program. The first one uses a two-dimensional array to store the name, whereas second uses the array of pointer to the string. The purpose of both program is very simple. We want to exchange the position of the name, that is Raman and the Ramnivas. This example I will be taken, but first of all let's take 5 minutes or 10 minutes break and then come back starting with this example. So let's take 5 to 10 minutes break. Now let's start with the example. That example shows how we can use the 2D array. So come back from the break. Let's start with the next topic or the next example that we have left off prior to the break. So this is the example that shows two-dimensional array of characters to store the names, whereas the second uses an array of pointer on the strings. That is, the first is simply used to store the names. That is the example names or exchange the names using the 2D array of characters. One is the main function that is used, then char name, there is no margin, there is no space, there is no rule, and then there is a 10. That is, the 10 columns are there in this. Then there is a curly braces. After curly braces, these are the words, or these are the few words that is written. One is Akshay, one is Parag, one is Raman, one is Srinivas, one is Gopal, one is Rajesh. And then this string will be closed. That is, the array will be closed. That is the names array. Then int I. That is, the I is a variable that is of integer type. T is a variable that is of char type. Then uses the printf, that is original %s, then ampersand names 20. That is, it will be storing the 2 rows and the 0 columns, then names 3 zeros. Then it will be used to print the original output, that is the original address of the 20 and the 30. Then uses for I equals to 0, that uses the for loop that starts with the 0 and ending with the 9. That is, it will execute for the 10 times. It starts with the 0 and ending with the 9 and I plus plus, that this every time it will be incremented. Then uses the t as a variable that is equals to the names 2I, that is, it will be used to store the value. First of all, it is 20, that is, it is stored at the 20, then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Then uses the names 2I, that is, uses the variable names 2I that is equals to the name 3I, that is, the name 3I will be stored in the name 2I. Then name in that t is the variable that is used to store the name 3I, that is, in name 3I it is used to store the t. So in simple terms, t is used as a temporary variable so that we can exchange the values of name 2I to the name 3I, that is swapping the values, interchanging the or exchanging the values, right? So in simple terms, whenever we use the t, that is used to accept the data from the names 2I, that is going into the temporary variable. Then name 2I is going to store the name 3I, and then that temporary variable data is going or stored in the names 3I. That is the for loop. Then uses the print statement, that is using the names 20 and the names 30. Then uses the curly brace. So this is the example that shows, first of all, main function will be used, then char name 0, this is the string that is used, then int I, char t, then printf will be used, then there is a for loop that will be used, and there is a curly brace that will be used to close the program. So this is the original one, that is the Raman, Srinivas, and the new one is that is exchanging the values of the Raman and the Srinivas, that is exchanging the two strings, one is Raman and the one is Srinivas. So Srinivas will be replaced by the Raman and the Raman will be swapped by the Srinivas. This says, note that in this program, to exchange the names, we are required to exchange corresponding characters of the two names. That is, we are required to exchange the corresponding character of the two names. That is, every character is replaced by the next one. In fact, or in effect, 10 exchanges are needed to interchange two names. What are the 10 or what are the 10 exchanges? Now let us see if the number of exchanges can be reduced by using an array of pointers. So in this, if we are using the simple but we are not using the pointer, then at the 10 places, at the 10 characters that are used to exchange the two names, or that are needed to exchange the two names, interchange the two names, that is the Raman and the Srinivas. Let us see if the number of exchanges can be reduced by using the array of pointers to strings. That is, for example, when we use the array of pointers to strings, then how pointer will be used to store the number of strings. That is the example. Now this is the main function. Then char pointer names, that is, names is the pointer variable that stores the char array, that is the character array, that uses the Akshay, Parag, Raman, Srinivas, Gopal, Rajesh. Then uses one variable, that is a temp variable, that is of pointer type. Means temp is a variable that stores the address of some another variable. Then uses the printf. Uses the printf, that is original SS. That is, first of all, names 2 will be used and then name 3 will be used. That is, two names are used. That is at the two locations, that is the Raman and the Srinivas. Then uses the temp variable, which is of pointer type. And in temp variable we store the name 2. That is, the name 2 will be stored into the temp variable. Then the name 3 will be stored in the name 2, and the whatever the data in the temp variable, that is the name 2, will be stored in the name 3. So this is the swapping that is done. That is, first of all, in temp name 2 will be stored, in name 2 the name 3, because now when the name 2 value is going to into the temp, so now name 2 is the vacant, so put the values of name 3 into the name 2, and then now name 3 is the vacant. Why? Because the name 3 value is going into the name 2. So name 2 and the temp are filled right now, right? So temp value that is already filled, that value is going to the names 3. That means temp is vacant. We do not need the temp. We need only names 2 and the name 3. So now the values will be interchanged. Then uses the new, that is %s, names 2, names 3. That is the output. This curly brace is used to give the character array pointer, that is a pointer names. Then this will be used to give the curly brace that is used to close the program. The output is same as the earlier program. In this program, all that we are required to do is the exchange of the addresses. That is, in the last example, we have exchanges the names. In this example, we have exchanges the addresses, that is stored in the array of pointers. Rather than the name themselves, that is, we are not using the array of pointers, but we have used the names themselves. Therefore, by effecting just one exchange, we are able to interchange names. That is, by effect from or just one exchange, we are able to interchange the names. This makes handling strings more convenient. That is, we are able to handle the strings more convenient when we are using the pointer variables. Therefore, from the point of view of efficient memory usage and ease of programming, an array of pointer to the string definitely scores over a two-dimensional character array. That is why, even though in principle strings can be stored and handled through a two-dimensional array of characters. In actual practice, it is an array of pointer to the string which is most commonly used. Now, what are the limitations of array to the strings? We have discussed the advantage that when we are using the array of pointers to string, that saves the memory. But what are the limitation, or what is the limitation of array of strings to the array of pointer to the strings? This says when we are using a two-dimensional array of characters, we are liberty to either initialize the strings when we are declaring the array, or receive the string using the scanf function. That is, when we are using the two-dimensional array, we are either liberty, or the compiler provides a liberty to either initialize the strings or receive the string using the scanf function. However, when we are using an array of pointers to a string, we can initialize the string at the place where we are declaring the array, but we cannot receive the strings from the keyboard using scanf. That is, we cannot receive the string from the keyboard by using the scanf function, that is using the %s. We cannot do so. However, when we are using the array of pointer, we can initialize the string at the place where it was or where we are declaring the array. That is, we can declare, but we can accept the or we cannot accept the string from the keyboard. This is the example. That is the main function. Then char pointer name 6. That is the char is the data type, name is the pointer, and there is a 6 variable or 6 values that will be stored that start from the 0 and ending with the 5. Then int I, that is the I is the variable that is stored, that is of integer type. Then uses the for loop, that is I equals to 0, I is less than equals to 5, I plus plus. So it starts with 0 and with the 5. So 0 to 5, that is 6 times. Then uses the printf, that uses the printf for printing the values, that is enter name, then scanf percentage s names I, that is the names is the array variable, then I, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it waits for the or it goes for the 5 times. This curly brace is used for the for loop, and this curly brace is used for closing the main function. The program does not work because when we are declaring the array, it is containing the garbage value. That is, whenever we are declaring the array, it contains the garbage value, and it would be definitely wrong to send these garbage value to the scanf, as the address is where it should keep the string received from the keyboard. That is, it is not good to, or it is not good that where we can keep the string that is received from the keyboard. So what is the solution? If we are bent upon receiving the string from the keyboard using scanf, that if we are fixed with the concept that strings are always entered from the keyboard using the scanf, then storing their addresses and array of pointer to string, we can do it in a slightly roundabout manner as shown below. This is the solution as shown below. What is the solution? Hash include alloc.h, then there is a main function. The main function will be starting with the curly brace, then char pointers name, char n50 int len I. That is, this is a pointer that is used. Then this is the array, that is n is the array that stores the 50 character that start with the 0 ending with the 49. Then uses two variable, that is the len and the I. Then char pointer p, that is p is the pointer variable that is of character type. Then using for I equals to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, that is, it starts with 0 ending with the 5. So it is continued for the 6th time, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then print the enter the name, then scanf, that is storing the values in the n, then uses the len function, that is equals to the str len n. That is, the str len function is used to find the length of the string, that is n string that is stored in the len. Then malloc function is used to allocate the memory. So this is the concept, this is the solution, that is, we can use the malloc function for allocating the memory, that is p equals to malloc len plus 1. Then copy the function, that is p and the n, that is p data and data will be copied to the p. Then p data will be stored in the array, that is the name I. Then using the for loop, this is the concept, the names I will be printed, that is at the first time 1 character, second 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 6 character will be printed by using this for loop. Here we have first received a name using scanf in a string n, then we have found out its length using the str len function and allocated space for making a copy of this name. This memory allocation has been done using the student library function, that is a malloc. So malloc is a function which is used to allocate the memory in the C language. This function requires the number of bytes to be allocated and returns the base address of the chunk of memory that is allocated, or that is it allocates. The address returned by this function is always of the type void pointer, that is, we have to define the pointer. Hence it has been converted the char using a feature known as the typecasting. Typecasting is discussed in the 15th chapter. So in simple terms, we have allocated the memory by using the malloc function. This is unlike this, using malloc we can allocate the memory dynamically. What is the meaning of dynamically? That is when the system is executing or when the program is executing, so at that time the memory is allocated. That is allocation of memory at the dynamic stage, that is dynamically during the execution. One is before execution, that is at the compile time. One is during the execution, that is dynamically during the execution. The argument that we pass to the malloc can be a variable whose value can change during execution. So once we have allocated the memory using malloc, we have copied the name received through the keyboard into this allocated space and finally stores the address of the allocated chunk in the appropriate elements of name, that is the array of pointer to string. This solution suffers in performance because we need to allocate memory and then do the copying of string for each name received through the keyboard. This solution has also a limitation, that is a performance limitation, because we need to allocate the memory and do the copying of the string for each name that is received through the keyboard. Now this is the summary. So we have finished with the chapter. What is the summary? For the first point says a string is nothing but an array of characters that is terminated by the null character. Being an array, all the characters of a string are stored in a contiguous memory location. Scanf are used to receive multi-word string. Both printf and puts can handle multi-word string. String can be operated on the following function. These are the four main functions. In practice, 2D array can be used to several strings. In practice, an array of pointer to strings is preferred because it takes less space and efficient in the processing strings. Malloc can be used to allocate the space in the memory during the execution. And these are the various exercises on the simple string. These are the various output based questions. Then this is the fill in the blanks. Then this is the scenario based questions, that is attempt the following. Then two-dimension array, that is the array of and the array of pointer to the string. These are the various questions. This is the example. This is the program that is available. Now next chapter is your chapter number 10, that is the structures. So till now we have finished with chapter number 9, that is the strings. In the tomorrow's class I will be starting your next chapter, that is a structure. Till now we have discussed about the predefined data type like int, float, double. Now we have created our own data type, that is a user defined data type, that is according to the user. One of the main user defined data type is structure. So this is a chapter number 10 that I will be starting in your next class, that is a tomorrow's class. So let's stop over here only. Now if you have any doubts, then please feel free to ask from me any doubts. So that's all for today's session. Thank you so much. In the tomorrow's class we will be starting your next topic, that is the structures. So that's all. Thank you.